WTIM.
Good morning. You're listening to WTIM, your information station, and our morning show. It's brought to you by People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville. I'm your host, Grayson Bauman, and joining us in this segment are members of the Christian County Health Department. I have Dr. Chad Anderson sitting directly in front of me, Peyton Langen in the corner there, and I've got Chelsea Davis joining us here today. To the three of you, good morning. How are we?
Morning.
Good.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for joining us. And, we touched on this a little bit in our last show, the annual health fair that's coming up at the end of this month. Let's start there. Tell us a little bit about what's going on with the annual health fair and kind of what to expect from it.
Sure, yes. So we're really excited. Our health fair is July 30th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. At the Christian County Health Department. We have 27 vendors, 2 food trucks. We'll have tacos and barbecue from Dizzy's Smokehouse. Lots of community resources, crafts and activities from the Taylorville Library. We have a raffle from the YMCA, a 3-month family pass. So that's something great. I'm really glad they did that for us. So just a lot of resources. We're really looking forward to it. Again, 27 vendors. So a lot of resources out there for everybody.
For you guys, what are we hoping for the community to kind of take away from this? Is there anything in particular? I mean, you have so many booths and vendors and people coming to talk or be a part of this. But what are we hoping the community kind of has as an overall takeaway from this event?
For us, I think we hope that when they come, they'll see a lot of the programs and things that we as a health department have to offer, but also see, kind of as a one-stop shop that Peyton was saying. There's not just 1 or 2 vendors, there's 27. So, there's all, if we don't have what you're looking for, hopefully there's at least, you can get something by being able to come to the event.
27 vendors. And for you guys, having this just be your second annual and seeing it grow and continue to move like that too, is it nice for you guys in terms of the public coming on in and getting to see Peyton, getting to see Chad or Chelsea and going, hey, all right, now I know my health department staff.
I think last year we only had like 4 or 5. This is our first year. Yep. So to see it, that people want to come, they want to be a part of it. They want to, help the community and show, what they have, I think is really important as well. And we're glad to see that we have the support of these community events and organizations.
So you went from about 4 or 5 last year to 27 this year.
I think so.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Man, all right. So we went from a successful first go of things, kind of getting our feet wet, figuring it out. And then all of a sudden we're like, we're going to bolster the numbers quite a bit. So that's awfully impressive. Of the 27 vendors, what are some of those that maybe stand out or some of those that we could share with our listeners?
Yeah, sure. So the Taylorville Library, they were there last year. She brought a ton of activities for the kiddos. She's absolutely amazing. We have Lincoln Prairie, Lincoln Land Community College will be there, SIU, DHS, Central County's Health Center, Montgomery County Health Department. We were really excited to see them join us. Oh, goodness, there's a lot of them. CEFS. Prairie Center, 5th Street Renaissance, Safe Passage, Illinois WorkNet. So a lot of different, there's something for everybody.
Yes.
Is what really I think was what we were most excited about is, it's not just one thing. So. Yeah,
you go from Safe Passage to the Christian County YMCA. If we're, that's a big gamut. Right?
Yes.
And I think the world of Aaron Cromit over there, Program and Outreach Manager with the Taylorville Library, keeping the kids active and moving while maybe some of the parents and grandparents get some of that additional information.
Yes.
Probably not a bad deal and a good person to pick for that. So of the 27 vendors, those are just some of those that stand out, but there are plenty more on that list as well. Anything else when it comes to the annual health fair that is coming up July 30th?
So we're going to have our medical director there to provide physicals for the community from 1 to 4. We're also going to have immunizations available, blood pressure checks, and lead screenings.
Physicals from 1 to 4. So all of those will be running from 1 to 4 p.m.?
Yep.
Gotcha.
So vaccines will be all day,
all day.
but just the physicals, because that's the only time Dr. Gill could be there.
And so with that being the case, it's kind of lumping some back to school activities in there as well. For you guys, in terms of the lead screenings and some other things, what are we able to do with like a lead screening? Do you need a sample of like paint from my house, or what are you needing for something like that?
So we do lead screenings on children and pregnant women at the health department. It's a blood test. It's a small prick on your finger, and we test their blood to make sure that their levels are under a specific amount.
Gotcha. Okay. So I don't need to bring a sample from my house. I just need to bring me and I'll
Yes.
sample myself a little bit there.
But if you were to test positive, the environment would come to your house to try to find the source of the lead. But it's a whole nother.
Mm-hmm.
So all of a sudden, Alexandra and maybe Joe will come knocking on
Yes.
my door,
Yes.
trying to fill me in. I see. So plenty going on. The physical is being offered by Dr. Gill that afternoon as well. Vaccines all day. And so the annual health fair, July 30th, whatever you want to make of it, 27 vendors and some back to school activities as well with that coming up at the very end of the month. Also near the middle of the month here, we've got Community Day coming up at the Christian County Fair, and we plan to be out there. What do we plan to provide when it comes to that Community Day?
So we plan to provide information on just the things that we do at the health department, also blood pressure checks, because that happens to be senior day as well. And we'll be there from about 10 a.m. to about 6 p.m.
10 a.m. to 6 p.m. So all of a
And
sudden,
free. Just wanna
And
make
it's
sure.
free,
Yeah.
yes.
People always ask.
well, and it's a good thing to let folks know. When it comes to the Community Day, this again is just getting you guys out in the public, getting you guys seen, getting you guys that time as well with members of the community that are looking for your help for that day, blood pressure checks and those other things. Is there some additional information, that packets or programs or things like that you might share with folks?
I think so. And plus, I think Dell, who's our emergency coordinator, said that he's been working with our local MRC, and some of the MRC community members will also be there to talk about what they do as a group, what kind of things that they also do, because they're like a subsection of the health department on just community volunteers. So I don't think a lot of people know that you can, be a volunteer and do these things. So they'll be talking about what they do as a group. And I think, they meet quarterly and they do trainings and activities. And so I think they'll be just, talking about, additional things that are a part of the health department, but are not the health department as well.
Gotcha. MRC, was that Medical Reserve Corps?
Yeah, the Medical Reserve Corps, yes.
Del Wilbur, I believe.
Yes.
He
He's
filled
our-
us in a little bit on that a couple months back, and
Mhm.
I had never heard of it prior to that time. And so while I learned about it and we got some information out there, it might be a good chance to learn a little bit more about it there as well. So that's a look at Community Day. Anything else when it comes to Community Day before we maybe transition to some other conversations?
I don't think so. I know one of them, RC, is a nurse, so they'll be helping Chelsea and Katie with blood pressure checks and things like that. But I can't think of anything else for that day. I don't know if you guys discussed anything.
Then that's okay. And that's all right. And, for you guys as well, it just stands out as all of a sudden here in July, we're getting out, we're being a part of the community, and we're
It's
really
nice
bringing
weather,
the community
so
together. It is very
it's a time
nice
to get
weather.
out of the building.
Yes, it is. And I do have a quick question for you. I know we don't have Joe, and I apologize if I'm getting too, out of sorts here with this. He had mentioned to me that water testing has changed. The requirements, the IDPH has kind of passed down some new, we'll call it legislation, when it comes to the water checks. Do we have any update
So,
when it comes to
they
that?
kind of gave us randomly that the IDPH lab would no longer be testing for wells for coliform and E. coli. So it was left for the health departments to then, figure that out. So we've reached out to 2 labs. We have some quotes, and we've been looking at now. So we've got those quotes, and then we have to now work with like FedEx and what's the other one? UPS, to try to get quotes from them to be able to send it, because those have to be sent overnight. You can't just go to the post office and send it, because it's the time once you put it in the bottle and seal it, it's like a ticking time. You need to get it into the lab as quickly as possible. So I mean, what we used to be offer it was like $20, but because of the private lab, because of all this, I mean, that expense unfortunately is going to have to go up. I don't know how much yet because I don't have all the final quotes, but it's probably going to be in the 80 to 90 range, which is a huge amount.
And again, I would like the distinction to be made that this was passed down from the IDPH. This is not something that the Christian County Health Department
it's
just
not our decision. No.
overnight said we're done doing this.
Yes.
This is not how that worked. And again, you're just working within the parameters that are given. You're going to try and do your best with them, but unfortunately, there are a lot of guardrails that are passed down. I'm sure.
Yes, because we were working with the lab, so the lab is waiving their fees because we're a health department. But it's so we're still going to try to provide the service, because if we just said, oh, you have to deal with the lab, it would probably be even more than 80 to 90. So we're trying to do the best that we can, but our hands are tied.
So right now, the thought is to maybe be more of a middleman, try and mitigate some of the costs because you're a health department and might get a better rate for it. Okay, that is the update I was looking for, and thank you for sharing with me there. Let's take ourselves a break. I've got Dr. Chad Anderson, Chelsea Davis, and Peyton Langan with the Christian County Health Department joining us here in person, in studio. You can see them sitting across from me. Where I was going with that, I don't know either. But you're listening to the WTIM Morning Show here on your information station.
WTIM.
Dahlia and I-55 to I-57, cruising 98.3, plays the hits from early Elvis in the 60s to the British invasion of the Beatles, Herman's Hermits, and many more from the 1960s. Then we swing into the early half of the 1970s with artists like the Guess Who, the Doobie Brothers, and Elton John. Every song brings back something you remember about growing up. Set a button and crank up the station, playing good time rock and roll from the Tower of Power, cruising 98.3 WSVZ.
I'm Regional Radio Multimedia Specialist Brittany Reynolds. If you want to reach local farmers and when decisions matter most, WTIM, your ag information station, connects your message directly to their ears when they're in the field, in the tractor, or planning their next season. Our over 9 hours a day of ag programming and 2 hours every Saturday deliver your message to the agricultural decision makers who depend on radio every day. WTIM, AM, FM, and online deliver results that digital simply can't match. Visit IllinoisFarmRadio.com to learn more.
Buy a brand new manufactured home in Bailey Park in Taylorville for less than $60 a square foot. 2 available now to buy and move into. See pictures and find out more by clicking the Bailey Park icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
Brenda Elder here, the Executive Director of the Shelby County Economic Development Corporation. From growing your business to attracting new investment, we're here to help. Find out more by clicking our icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
WTIM.
And we're back with the WTIM Morning Show here on your information station. It's brought to you by Landmark of Taylorville and People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first. I'm your host, Grayson Bauman. Joining us in this segment, Dr. Chad Anderson, Chelsea Davis, and Peyton Langan, all with the Christian County Health Department. We talked a little bit about water testing, Community Day coming up, and then the annual health fair on July 30th. let's turn our attention now to women and children. Women, I knew I was going to do it. Women, infants, and children, and some changes that have been made there. Chelsea, what can you tell us?
So there was a formulary change in WIC that was effective on July 1st that cut down the specific formulas that we can provide with a prescription from the doctor. We sent out letters to the families that were affected this week, and then we'll call them next week to talk further so that we can refer them to someone who can get those formulas, even though WIC cannot anymore.
Are these specific formulas for certain instances or just general formulas? Or
yeah, there's specific formulas that require like a prescription through the child's pediatrician due to different reflux or prematurity or
gotcha, depending on what we'll call it issue or what chronic illness or things of that nature maybe, then we're pushing a different formula. So that changed July 1st. How do we, right now, you're probably just kind of scrambling, trying to figure it out where to really pull things, or did you know about this change?
Well, we had a meeting and they told us about it. So I was prepared for this to happen.
Good.
Like I said, we sent out those letters. I have a list of direct medical equipment providers in the area that our participants can work with in order to get those formulas if they still require them.
Gotcha.
And we're giving them plenty of time because they can get those formulas until the end of August. But I'd like to talk to them and refer them to someone who can help them before. Yeah.
Sure. So thankfully, there is still a gap and some time for you to be able to do so. I'm glad to hear that because it doesn't seem like that's always the case for you guys. We also wanted to talk a little bit about family case management. And again, I'm just going to throw it right to you.
All right. We provide family case management. But recently that's changed also July 1st to a program called BBOC, which is Better Birth Outcomes Comprehensive. We provide resources and education to pregnant women and postpartum women about postpartum period and their infants in order to produce better outcomes for them. We've always provided case management, and this is really not that different from what we provide previously. But yeah, they come in and we help them out. We refer them to whoever they need referred to and help with education.
And that was going to be my question is it similar? And so it sounds like it is. And it's now BBOC, Better Birth Outcomes Comprehensive.
Mm-hmm.
My goodness, there's a lot of acronyms out there. I'm trying to wrap my head around here. So when it comes to that, everything you can still come in and expect pretty much the exact same service.
Absolutely.
Great to hear.
I think the only thing that changed is that they used to go to the home and now they're not going to the home. I think is really the only change, really.
Yep. We used to provide home visits and we're no longer doing home visits. We can if you need us to, but it's no longer required. And the time that we would follow you has changed. So in family case management, we would follow an infant until they're 1 year old. But now with Better Birth Outcomes, we only follow them to 6 months of age.
Okay, so just a few changes, one of which is it might be better for you to come in, or maybe there's no requirement now, and then also from a year down to 6 months. Okay, just so I'm tracking, and I'm going to try and hold on to that information. Peyton, with about a minute here to go, the other thing we wanted to talk about was not just mental health services, but there's some counseling services out there. Can you explain kind of the distinction between the two?
Yeah, so I just wanted to get the word out there that it doesn't have to be mental health related. As a case manager, community health worker, I can help with any kind of social services, job prep, Social Security, DHS services, anything paperwork wise. If you just need help, reading it and having somebody fill it out with you, I'm always here for those kind of resources as well. It does not just have to be mental health related. I can help with housing applications, that kind of stuff. So any kind of social service, if you're needing any kind of help or just resources, I'm here. I have 2 huge binders of resources. So if you ever need something, you can contact me. So
picking apart brains and papers, apparently.
Yes.
Good to know. Dr. Chad Anderson, Peyton Langen, and Chelsea Davis joining us here in studio, all with the Christian County Health Department. To the 3 of you, thank you for your time today.
Yes, thanks
Thank
for having
you.
us today.
Glad to have you. You're listening to WTIM, your information station, and our morning show. It's brought to you by People's Bank and Trust and Landmark of Taylorville.
WTIM. With SRN News, I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. Governor Greg